Willie D Live.
I think people like me and Paul Wall, who've kind of been in the front lines of it, me and Paul Wall, they try to give us like life. We were having a little,
I know. How did a smoke out with Paul Wall turn into a RICO case?
Man, that was the craziest shit of my life, dog. That was the craziest shit of my life.
And how did that, refresh everybody on what happened with that and what the results were?
Okay, so me and Paul Wall, we're in the cannabis business. He has a brand, Satellite, it's all in California, and we started talking about, hey, and we're weed smokers. So whenever we come back to Texas, hey, let's have a smoke out, invite some friends. It started off just kind of just showing off our weed. We like to hey, check out what I got. Oh, I got the cereal milk. Oh, I got the mother tangy cake. Or, we would just show it off, and more people started coming. And it went from like 30 people to like 300 people.
And y'all were doing this weekly or what?
Nah, we would do it like maybe once every month. Yeah, whenever we feel like, hey, let's find a spot. Because we did it in a couple studios before. We damn near burned it. I mean, so many people started showing up. Bruce was like, man, fire started and shit. So I don't know what the fuck. They started a fire over here. It was fucked up. He was like, man, you
Shout out to Bruce, man.
Bruce Bang, that's right. We can't have these over here no more, Bash. I'm like, all right. So we started finding other places. And it was basically just a show off of our new strands of what we're smoking in California. But come to find out, a lot of people had weed out here to show off. So it started getting big. And somebody must have called the cops and said, hey, they're having pot parties, because that's what they're on the news. They're saying, yeah, Baby Bash and Paul Wall's having pot parties, which was pretty dope. I like that. I mean, it was kind of pretty tight at the time. But yeah, they came in with like masks. They came in with rifles, gun, laid everybody down.
They came into where?
We were at a smoke shop.
Okay.
So we were at a smoke shop.
How many people were there?
See, this was towards the end. So I was getting ready to leave. I was coming out, getting ready to leave. We had like a food truck in the back. It was like set up nice. There was probably maybe about 100 people left. It probably peaked at 3, but probably by the end of the night it was at 100. I was getting ready to walk out, so I walk out the back. I was parked in the back, got into my truck, got in, started up. All of a sudden, the flashlight and the guns at my face. Freeze. I look over here. I said, "Oh shit!"
Did they use the word freeze?
Freeze.
They said freeze.
Freeze, like I was a mother Starsky and Hutch back in the old school. Freeze.
Boy, if that ain't 1960s.
And I froze like a. I looked.
Freeze.
Yeah, it was like some mother Starsky and Hutch shit. Next thing you know, I see a bunch of dudes that look like ninjas, right, just running by me, and you hear them because you can hear them stomping, right? They're all dressed in black with masks and shit. Like, so what the? So first I'm thinking, oh, they're jacking us, dude. They're gonna rob this whole mother. And then on the back of their shirts, Houston police, right? I'm like, what the? Then now I know who this is, because I couldn't tell because the flashlight was in my face. I couldn't see, and these mother running by. And then Paul was in there. Paul Wall was still in there. And Paul's the one that said, hey, they broke. And you could hear, get down, shit breaking. And Paul said they ran in there and laid everybody on that floor on their back. So they took me, Paul, and another dude in the back and said, we want you, and you. Everyone else could leave. Everyone empty your pocket. They made everybody empty their pocket. Oh, this is what fucked up. Everybody in there that was left, they made them all empty their pockets and throw everything in a pile. They had peel, they had black tar, they had coke, meth, they had all kind of drugs in these motherfuckers. And they piled up in there and they were trying to charge us with that shit, right?
Wow.
And we was like, what the So the cops, they take us to the back of the car, we're handcuffed, and one's being cool, like, man, we were just listening to you guys shit. Imagine an officer telling you that. So then I'm kind of relaxing.
Yeah, but let me go then.
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just smoking some weed, right? I had no clue about a RICO Act and a fucking organized crime thing, right? I had no clue about that shit. And the guy comes out and he said, let me see if we can get you guys, out by the, handcuffed and ready to go after we check everything out. So we're chilling. He comes back. I don't know if he talked to somebody. He said, yeah, we're charging you with organized crime. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're like, what the I look at my boy. We look at Paul. Paul looks at me like, man, this is some serious shit. And these two cops, they're kind of younger. They said, we'll take him in, right? This is weird, too. They took us, they jumped in the car, took us to, this is like 4 a.m. at this time. They take us to the station, but on the way, they stop at this, it's like a business district, like a bunch of warehouses and shit, and they stop. I'm like, man, they're either gonna let us go and be cool.
Man,
like,
do not tell me them dudes asked for some pictures.
Yes, they did, bro. they wanted a picture real
I ain't
quick.
surprised, though.
I mean, I really, and I even told it to my lawyer. My lawyer said, man, he said, that alone could break the case for you. And, but Carl was a great lawyer. You know Carl Moore?
I do know Carl Moore. Shout out to Carl Moore.
That mother beast, dog. So
Yeah.
thanks God for Carl Moore. Everyone else hired lawyers, but my lawyer is the one that did the. Everyone else hired lawyers, but let me tell you something. Carl Moore is the one that beat that case for us. Got common sense on it, and beat that case for us. So we get turned in. Next thing you know, we get out in the morning, get bailed out, and my girl say, "Man, you're all over the news." I get home, there's 3 vans, channel 11, 13, and 2 is at my house. They know where I live, and the people are coming out trying to talk to me, the reporters. I'm like, how the you know where I live? I'm getting home. What was it? And I talked to one. I was like, man, I was telling the truth. Man, this shit was just a weed party. These motherfuckers act like we're the mafia.
Yeah, the Gambino family.
Yeah, I'm like, man, what the I'm being honest, but little did I know, like Paul's lawyer and my other dude's lawyer, the smoke shop lawyer was like, don't ever talk. They yelled at me and shit. I'm like, man, I just told the truth. That's all it was. But then Carl Moore, he what do you call it when the grand jury before they give you the case? He went to the grand jury, wrote them all letters. He said, this is what they were doing. You're charging them with this. If you're charging them with
hold on. He can't go to the grand jury because
he gave it to the
because only the DA can.
Yeah, he gave it to the DA.
To the grand jury,
and the DA was cool enough because they knew each other. They went to school together. Thank God. But she was gracious enough to give him all the letter. Hey, from us, we want to give the letter to the grand jury, and it said, hey, these motherfuckers are just smoking weed. Yeah, they shouldn't be smoking weed. Yeah, get them in trouble for that. But you're trying to give them life for this shit. They ain't no money getting involved. You know what I mean? They're acting like some money involved in shit. So thank God the grand jury was logical enough to say, yeah, you're right. It wasn't this. There was no evidence about it. It was this. So they shut it down. And thank God for that, man. Carl Moore, man. We love you, man.